online. Welcome to another episode of the Big Blue Tent podcast. Come in, get comfortable. All are welcome here. The views from Gups and Aiden are strictly for entertainment purposes and should not be mistaken for facts. 30 seconds until round 1.
Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Big Blue Tent podcast. It's episode 14, Wednesday the 2nd of August 2017, and you're listening to Matt Guppy and Aidan Burke of the Big Blue Tent. Hi Aidan.
Hi Matt, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good mate, I'm all good. Let's say a quick thank you to all of the Big Blue Tent sponsors. We've got Number 5 RC with Mike Parker up in the northwest, or up in the north.
Yay, Mike Parker.
We've got CML Distribution, and RC Octane, with John Finch in the southwest. There's Nuclear RC, which is Alan Painter for your glues and acetones, and DTS Apparel, Chris Streams with his designs that stick. You can find all of those on Facebook in their own respective pages or groups, or on the Big Blue Tent page, or in the Big Blue Tent group. I'm sure everybody knows the difference between the page and the group by now, especially Mark Christopher.
Yeah.
So, what's been happening with you then, mate?
Well, the same thing that's happened to you this week is as we were both together at a big race meeting, though neither of us were racing.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed on Saturday morning, I must admit.
Yeah.
I don't think I was holding my hopes out too much, but yeah, it would have been nice to have snuck in, and it was two-wheel drive.
But they had, I think, on the Saturday morning, they had 3 reserves. Yeah. And all those 3 reserves were going to be there anyway.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's 10 reserves, but if your reserves are, no one's going to travel 200 miles to maybe get in, whereas those other guys had got in. That was Sean Norris. I think he actually got in on Friday night, and Mark Anthony Jones, who got in on Saturday morning. But it's a good weekend, so we'll chat about that more. Before we go and do anything else, we get requests. Thank you very much, for all the feedback we get. People are clearly still enjoying the podcast, but we got a message off one of the jockos, one of the guys at Glasgow Model Car Club.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm super prepped. Actually wrote down what I want to say, but he never wrote his name down.
Okay.
So to the guy who sent us this message, thanks very much. And everyone at Glasgow, thank each other, because I don't know who it was. But the Glasgow RC Club are running at the Ignition show in the Glasgow Exhibition Hall. So that's clearly some sort of big car thing, and I think they've got a track and doing some demonstrations there. So if you're in the area, find the Glasgow Model Car Club. Now, they do have some great videos. They're the guys who did that 360 track one.
Oh, yeah, that was good. That was good. Why don't you find one of their videos and share it on the Big Blue Tent page?
I will do. I'm going to find that one. I think that's really, really good, that one. So the Glasgow Model Car Club, it's this weekend. It's at the Ignition show, I assume, in Glasgow. Message, maybe there's spaces for you to go and have a race on some carpet indoors, or maybe you go in there anyway, go and have a look at catch up with the other Glaswegians there. Archived, new.
That'd be a good idea. Well, I mean, it's, there's a few things coming up with the indoor season very quickly approaching us, and with the weather that I've got down here in the southwest today, you'd think it was winter already. You certainly wouldn't be racing in it.
Right.
It's pouring down. Absolutely pouring down. It's blowing virtually a gale up here on top of the hill.
Right.
It's horrific at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, it's lovely,
looking
lovely up
forward
north,
to-
mate, as it was all weekend.
Well, I'm sure I'll be able to find out how lovely it is when I come up on Friday with Mr. Busby.
Oh, yeah, because you're going to the International this weekend, aren't you?
Yes, indeed. My first one.
Right. So
So-
you've been to Robin Hood before this year.
Yes, it wasn't my finest weekend.
Oh, it was radio issues, wasn't it?
Mm.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
that was quite upsetting that weekend.
I don't know whether we should be talking about how have you got on with your sorting out your radio issues. Maybe we should talk about that in the break.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Okay, cool.
I think Robin Hood owes me a meeting, so I'm looking for TQ over Orlowski.
Yeah.
He's in a Schumacher, so it's not going to be too difficult.
No, it's got a belt.
He's got a belt in it. What's he going to do?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'll be going for at the weekend, like every
Well done.
weekend.
Beating Orlowski. But you will have, Orlowski is there. I don't know whether Craggy's going as well.
No,
he won't
he's
be,
not.
because he won't be back from the 180 Euros.
No.
It's Wednesday today, so they've finished all their practice they finished all their practice and run bits. Tomorrow is proper qualifying starts. I think the coverage is on RC Racing TV. I've seen a few of the videos. Neo Buggy. I've put some track walks up.
Yeah.
And I think we've got a pretty strong team for 1/8 Nitro. If you're into your smelly, dirty stuff.
You know why they've all gone over there rather than going to the International, don't you?
They're scared of being beat by Orlowski.
No, same reason that Worsley wouldn't let me get into the National. He knows that I would just TQ it up at Southport.
Well, I said that during. A few people asked me. I did the timekeeping for the practice.
Yeah.
Did a really exciting job. So I would sit there and go, well, people go, why aren't you racing? And I go, well, it'd be unfair. If I just turned up and TQ'd the meeting, it would throw the whole competition out.
Yeah, it would.
And since we'd ran that track for the last 10 weeks on two-wheel drive, I probably would have TQ'd the meeting.
Yeah.
If it got a decent heat. But we can chat about nationals, because everyone we've planning to get on now tonight was at the nationals.
That sounds like a great idea, mate. Who have we got coming on tonight?
Well, ideally, if I can press the buttons, we've got Tony Evdoka.
Ooh, okay, let's
Tony
get him on.
Evdoka. So let's try and get him on, and then we could Tony. You know how Skype works. Eventually, someone just starts talking. It's quite spooky, really.
They do. I think he is lingering in the background there somewhere, from what I can see. Oh, are you there, Tony?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Tony.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
We can hear
Yes,
you.
we
Loud
can
and
hear
clear. Can you hear both of us?
I can.
Good man.
That's great.
How are things going for you? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much. I've just put these earphones in and trying to get used to them a little bit. I don't normally use these things, to be very fair.
No, that's fair enough. Aidan seems to like them for some reason.
It's the microphones. The microphones are better.
Okay.
The problem is you're in my head now.
Yeah, well, Tony,
That's the worst
you're
place you want the pair of us.
Did you get home okay from Southport?
Do you know what? I did some brilliant time coming back from Southport. I mean, going up wasn't great. It never is.
No.
I think the worst two motorways on earth is M25 and M6. To me, that's unquestionable. And I came back in a staggering 3 hours and 15 minutes. I was absolutely ecstatic.
Wow, that is good going. It
Right,
took me a
just-
little bit longer.
I didn't. Yeah.
Where are you, Tony? I don't know where you were going to.
Okay. My nearest motorway junction is Junction 3 M3, or in other words, between the M3 and the M4, the two motorways. I'm in a place called Windlesham, Surrey.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So it's a journey. I'm quite lucky because I've got clubs around me within an hour. But
what's
to
the
do
local
nationals,
for you?
anything north is a quest. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I get this. To be fair, Tony, I get the same thing because I do the Opel series through the year, and most of the tracks for me are 3 hours plus northwards. It's only really Mendip that's within the hour range for me out of that lot. So yeah, it's a lot of getting about through the year to make these meetings for sure, and you can always guarantee that the M6 is gonna just randomly stop in the fast lane for no given reason at all.
So much, that motorway. Oh, it really does. I mean, myself and Neil, as in Neil Cragg, we have a little laugh about it sometimes. When he hits the M25, he sort of has his little moan, and I do vice versa when I hit the M6. So, yeah, I'm quite fortunate where I am. I've got easy access to quite a few clubs, so that's good for me. It's always been good from this spot.
Where can people find you racing on a Sunday when you're not at Nationals?
Well, this is the problem. The problem lies now with the distribution of the Serpent product.
Yeah.
I'm now doing the 8th racing as well as 10th racing. My love is off-road. I did on-road sort of early 2000s, and to be honest with you, and I mean this with absolutely no disrespect to anyone that does touring car, but I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
Well done, Tony. Well done.
I mean, it just seems as if you just got to hit the right line and go around the corner, hit the right line, go around the corner. Yeah. The more power you got, the faster you could go. And, there is no element of let's say Southport, where it's a very demanding track. You got to be 5 minutes and on it for 5 minutes, and that's what off-road is all about for me. But where can you find me racing? I try to do all my regional series. I've historically always raced in the Mid-South, and we've got a variety of clubs there. There's distance between them. For example, Silverstone and Stopfold being the furthest north of the region, and as down south as Torch. So you're looking at nearly a 2-hour gap between the clubs. So it's difficult. But Stopfold is a club that I don't pay often. As I don't go off as often as I should do, just purely because of the time schedule to do other things. Torch likewise. Surrey and Hants Racing is a club, in fact, that I actually started up many moons ago, and I'm probably talking, God, must be 30 plus years ago. And it got revived not so long ago, and they're doing very, very well. There's some good guys there. That's literally 15 minutes away from me. So, and I don't even get there. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's terrible, just purely because of the schedule of not necessarily larger events. I don't want to call them larger events, but of what you're obligated to do, if you see what I mean. So
as the distributor of Serpent in the UK.
It's partly and parcel of that, and obviously I drive for Serpent likewise, and and it's a matter of representing your product and yourself as best you possibly can. It's difficult, but there is an element of the question is a national event the place, or is regional event the place? There's an element of that question.
We had that very conversation the other day, me and Aidan, talking about being a team driver at a national, or being a team driver at a club, or being a team driver at a different event, because the impact you can have as a team driver, I think, at nationals is based on a result, really. I think, other than the publicity you're going to get from live events and things like that, and it's a good thing to do well in the nationals anyway. But I think for a greater effect on people who aren't already team drivers, because I think the vast majority of national drivers are already in a team, the likelihood is, watching another team driver, they're not going to swap teams, they're just going to want to beat that team. If you've got events like club races that you're going to, you can have more of an effect, I think, on people that don't have that sort of brand influence to have to stay with a brand or stay with a team. They can sell all the gear or sell their chassis and just move to another manufacturer. They can run whatever electrics they want. And I think that's where, in my opinion, as team drivers, that's I think where we can affect people much more. You're never going to affect the top 10 in the national unless you come across some other freak of nature that happens to be incredibly good at driving toy cars.
I think it's absolutely right what you're saying. There is an element that let's talk about our real elite drivers, the likes of Neil Cragg, Lee Martin. These guys, I mean, let's be realistic. They're not only the best, at the top of the UK, but they're probably UK and world level, star drivers. Now, can Neil Cragg drive another car apart from an associated, and can Lee drive something else than a Yokomo? Of course they can, but that's not where it stems from. I think that the majority of the cars in the UK now, I should say worldwide, really, because it is worldwide, they're very similar. Look, they're all very similar layouts. They have their 3 gear, their 4 gear, their stand up, their sit down, there, this, that, and the other. All of them have it. And I think what it is for the paying customer and even for the ordinary team driver out there, it's a matter of, are you part of a team? Are you getting the help, the support, the parts availability? Because at the end of the day, it's radio control car racing. We go racing to enjoy ourselves, and if you're unfortunate to break something, you want the availability to be able to have it the next day, or the day after. If you're struggling with that, I always, as an individual, I think to myself, well, what are you driving that car for? If you're having that kind of trouble. But people drive different cars for different reasons. As you guys know, I've got a team around me which, until recent times, they're not superstars, but they represent the brand in their area very, very well. And at the end of the day, so long as they're enjoying themselves, that's what I'm looking for, and I'm sure them too. So it's a different mentality in teams, but nationals are nationals. You've got to be there, really. And that's just the bottom line. Whether you've got a star driver and he can, be putting it in an A final for you on a regular basis or not is a different argument, I think, to representation of a product around the country and at different lesser events, if that is the right word to use.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Talking about star drivers, you've now got one.
Simon, eh? Look, Simon Moss is a very talented guy. He's fast. He's actually quite knowledgeable. You have to look at his past record. A lot of people look at the now and where people are and what they do, but that's because certain circumstances change as we get older and our lives change and our responsibilities change and that kind of thing. But Simon was, as many of you know, and I'm sure the majority of the people listening to this now know that he was part of the Schumacher team for, I don't know how many years. Is it nearly 20 years? I would have thought something like that, 15 years. He was part of research and development for with a long time, working with the likes of legends like Phil Booth and people like that. And at the end of the day, he brings a lot of talent to the table. I've always liked him as an individual. As much as we're very apart in the country, in a strange way, I've always classed him as a friend, just purely because I like the guy. I think he's honest, he's straightforward, irrelevant to what anybody else. I don't care what anybody else feels, if you like. That's how I feel. And I've always wanted him as a driver. I knew his contract was up. I spoke to him. We agreed. He obviously has to go further for his talent. So we spoke to, the head at Serpent, and he's now a Serpent driver. And I am extremely pleased, to say the least.
Yeah, and he did a great job. Was that his first outing at the weekend with them?
Well, listen, he had a couple of batteries with the two-wheel drive, and that's about it. Yeah. He didn't even build it. He didn't have time. I built it for him. Likewise with the four-wheel drive. With the four-wheel drive, he didn't have anything. I mean, literally, we were putting in electrics on the Saturday night. So it's really difficult. We've thrown him right in the deep end. In a stranger way, it's unfair, on the guy to be put into that situation. But he was actually a little bit unlucky on the Saturday. He could have qualified a lot higher. One or two errors cost, and when you're not familiar and in tune with what you're driving, that all it takes is the one error and it can cost. We were very lucky, I suppose, in a way, but in another way, he drove it, he's put it in there, and he was super competitive in the final too. So,
he was without a doubt.
Extremely pleased, because not only for Simon, but it's a long time coming for somebody to see that the Serpent two-wheel drive car is actually capable of making National A finals and being very competitive, So, of course, it takes a talented driver to show that, but if it wasn't capable, it wouldn't be in the final, So it's as simple as that.
What sort of comparison did he give you, or has he given you any compared to what it's been like driving a Schumacher for that long? Did he enjoy the drive at the weekend? Was he made any comments on anything he'd like to see changed or improved, or what's the sort of feedback from Simon so far? I guess that's my question.
Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously there's going to be a lot of team talk, because he is part of going to be sort of developing the car with us, as time goes on. This isn't a sort of a 2-month deal, this is a long-term deal. And of course it's very difficult for me to speak on behalf of Simon, but I can tell you that he's really pleased with the two-wheel drive car. I mean, he hasn't criticised it in a real bizarre way. So that's a real positive thing. The four-wheel drive, he says it generates too much grip. I didn't think that was a possibility, if you like, but he says it generates too much grip, and we need a little time to make some adjustments.
Sorry, Tony,
to make it drive.
I think what happened there is Southport's track generates too much grip. I think that's what happened there. If there's one place you can go for grip,
I've been going to Southport for a very long time, probably longer than all of you guys. And I mentioned it. I mentioned it when I was up there. I remember going to Southport when it had a bowling green grass straightaway, and we were not allowed to stand on the straightaway at drivers' briefing.
Really?
That's a great idea.
Yeah, but you guys don't go back that far.
No, not at all. No,
goodness,
no. It's like 10 years for me, max.
Yeah, God.
No, this. I'm talking. Oh God. I'll tell you who I need here. I need Ellis Stafford. That's who I need. He'll probably tell us how long ago that was. But it must be 20 plus years ago. I'm talking maybe 25.
I'll remind you tomorrow. You send this link to Ellis Stafford because, to be honest, I'm going to say Big E was like my first. Big E was my first hero. I came in around the time of the X6 and the X6 Squared, where, Big E was just destroying it everywhere.
Well, I mean, the X6 is, there are periods in time when certain cars change the face of the sport.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the X6, because I don't know if you guys were aware, but we were supporting Rude Bit as such, before the Serpent days, of course, was supporting Ellis Stafford with all his weights for the X6. We actually used to do even a sheet explaining if it's wet, do this, if it's dry, do that.
Tony, I had that sheet.
Yeah,
the X6 had a massive pile of brass that stuck behind the servo, and all you knew is if it got wet, I think you took did you take all of them out?
All of them apart from one, if I remember. Yeah.
That was it. All of them apart from one, and then you put some brass other bits in like the back corners of the car as well.
Yeah, that's it. Back corners, underneath the cells, there was a couple of bits and pieces and stuff like that, and it was basically a weight distribution system for the X6.
Yeah, we all had them. All of us had them.
Yep. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Ellis won 2 back-to-back titles and then tied the third one.
Yeah,
but like I said, that changed the sport because everybody then started going mid-motor. There was all sorts of different people trying different things. And of course, as you all know, Rude Bits and in the likes of David Burton. I don't know how much you know about David Burton, but he's my son-in-law.
Right. Okay.
And, he married my daughter for his sins. And he obviously developed the DB car, which, of course, likewise with the X6, changed the form of racing in a way that, people will put in the motor even further forward, That DB had front of a 2-wheel drive, back of a 4-wheel drive. Yeah, that was the idea, and of course when Elliot Boots, it sounds rude if I say he walked the meeting, but I'm sure that if any of those star drivers that we've already mentioned, if they were here in the conversation, they would probably agree that he was really a step ahead because of probably what he was driving, and nothing to do with how talented he is, but a TQ and win with ease at the Silverstone National. Some maybe trying to think now, is it 5 years ago, something like that, 4 or 5 years ago? Yeah. Of course, again changed the sport because the famous British company Schumacher developed their car, and which was similar, of course, and the rest is history. We know where we're at now.
So, we're all on three gear laydowns, whether it's high grip, low grip. Doesn't make any difference. Keep a 3-gear lay down in all of the time.
Thanks to Ben Jameson.
Yeah, Ben. I love Ben. Ben is a great guy. I like him. If there's someone that prepares their car right, it's Ben. And I I commend him for that. So.
Yeah, well, Ben was on an earlier podcast and told us the story of he invented the lay-down gearbox.
He did something like that.
He says he's got a picture. No, it was joking, but he has got a picture of a lay-down gearbox sent as a message to somebody else before anybody had a 3-gear. But I think seemed to be about 3 teams were working at them at the same time.
There was quite a few teams. But realistically, the production stuff came out with the Yokomo car. That's how it was sort of seen worldwide, if you like. But there was quite a few people working on lay-down gearboxes at that stage. But in my opinion, irrelevant to who was testing it, is who brings it out. To be available, if you like, and
that's what I bought a yoke.
Yeah, Yokomo did that. I'm not sure the Yokomo was a 4-gear laydown. If I
it was originally,
and then of course other people went to a 3-gear. I have to tell you, I mean, in our Serpent car, we have a 4 and a 3, whether they're laid down, and we also have a stand-up 3 and a 4. And I have to tell you, a 4-gear laydown definitely gives you more forward traction, in my opinion.
It's a different drive altogether, isn't it?
Yes, I think there's an element that is whether you can actually lay down that power with the tyre combination that we have these days. Because, of course, we've recently gone to the Dart tyre as a controlled tyre for national events, and of course a lot of regionals are following suit, and that's more difficult than what meets the eye, that tyre. So the different gearboxes can give you different kind of drive, and I think it's to do with how efficient your car is and slipper clutches, driver ability, and all sorts. But yes, you are correct. The majority are on the 3-gear now. So yeah.
What do you think the next big step's going to be then? Because I think we've spoken. I think it was Ben that we spoke about it with the margins for improvements now are tiny in the toy car world. But what can we possibly do next? We've gone from carbon everything to half plastic and now alloy chassis, and what's the next thing?
I've got to be careful here, because bearing in mind that
tell us the new stuff, Tony. Tell us the new stuff.
No one listens to this anyway, Tony. Don't worry. It's just us 3.
Yeah, sure. I work with some amazing guys, some amazing designers that the stuff that I've seen at Serpent are nothing short of amazing, and that's really all I can say. I was gobsmacked when I was over in Holland recently.
Okay.
So, is there going to be some new stuff? Yes, there will be. When? That's maybe not for. Maybe within a year, if we're lucky.
That would be good. That would be good.
Will it change the sport again? I think that it's going to probably will do.
Oh my God!
Probably will do is all we need. That is a 100% bet, everybody. Serpent is about to change the face of RC in the next 12 months.
I didn't quite say that, because you don't know what anybody else is doing, of course.
No, you don't.
But I do tend to agree with Ben. The margins now have become, we've discovered the next eras now. How far we can take that is another matter altogether. It's definitely going to be rewarding for the next person that changes it again, if you like. That's for sure.
I think so.
I'm going to take it right back to the first question I asked, which was about how you got home from Southport. How did you get on at Southport?
Well, Southport was very difficult for me. Nothing to do with driving, because of course I was super excited to have Simon with us, and my sole purpose, if you like, was to just basically look after him because he doesn't know the cars, you see. So, like I said, it was, in a stranger way, it was unfair to put him in that situation in the first place, I thought. But saying that, I think at one stage I was within 0.6, 0.7 of a lap of him, and to be honest with you, I was chuffed to bits with that. I thought to myself, I'm doing all right here,
Was that 2 or 4-wheel drive?
That was 2-wheel drive.
Okay.
4-wheel drive, we changed quite a bit, and just trying to lose grip. That's what we were trying to do, and it's a fine line between losing side by and losing your forward momentum at the same time. You don't want to be doing that. I have to openly admit that we didn't have the best of times. Irrelevant that Simon was still doing the lap times. I don't recall exactly on lap times now, but at one stage I think you had to do sort of there was maybe a few people, half a dozen if that could do just in the 22s at one stage, and he was doing 23 twos, never driven the car before. So
I thought Simon's performance on Saturday, I don't know if you know that basically me and Guppy are obsessed with 2-wheel drive, because that's what we do. So that's what we really focused on, and we were there all day. I thought Simon,
you all did a great job down there, by the way.
We just do what Eric tells us to do. Dead easy.
Hey, listen, being told what to do is probably even harder than what meets the eye. I thought Southport did really, really well.
Well, that's just what we do every day. Thank you very much. And I'll have to say that you were one of the people who made sure they said thank you to all the people who were working at the track before you left on Sunday. So that was really nice. But Simon's performance, I thought, was really good, because he wasn't in the highest of heats, was he?
Okay. It's no secret there is one person that does the heats, and that's Paul Worsley. We all know that, and if you don't, that's who does the heat listing, and he has a method of doing it, which actually I think is really good, because look, whether it's a good method or a bad method, you've got to have a method so you can at least give an explanation to somebody why I don't know, Darren Bloomfield comes back for one meeting and he's in such a heat, for example. So he's got his reasons for putting Simon in there, but I'm not too sure, irrelevant of whether it's Simon or Lee Martin or whoever, I'm not too sure that a driver of that stature and ability, and this is the key, the ability should be in Heat 9. And listen, it's no disrespect to people in Heat 9. The problem with it is that he's just missed a meeting. That's all it is. And because he's not showing in the championship.
I think Simon was lapping people on about lap 4.
This is where the problem lies. It's not a responsibility for the driver that it's in that heat. It's a responsibility for all the other people not to be affected by that, because every time he's lapping, they've got to move over that little bit. They're losing half a second, maybe a second. They're being caught. They get. I don't want to use strong words like demoralized. Oh God, I've got to move over again type thing.
Yeah.
It could be that kind of situation, and there was a few incidences where you've got it in one. I think it was 3-4 laps in, and he was overtaking. I don't like to use the word lapping in qualification, but he was overtaking the person, let's say, that was starting 10th. And it's really difficult. It really is difficult for all the people in that heat. But then on the other hand, you would argue, well, who are you going to move out of another heat to put in there, right? There is that argument until it comes to the Sunday, and then there were people moving around on the Sunday when,
what I actually was going for regarding the early heat was I don't think the conditions helped. You know, all that rain overnight, and the track seemed to get drier and drier and drier and drier every time the heat went on.
Yeah,
I think you did have that at the beginning. I mean, obviously, I know Simon's results because I was with him, obviously. And I think in Heat 1 he had 2 bobbles, his own doing. He will admit to that himself. He got a 13th in round. And round 2 he had one error, should have been a 3rd or a 4th, and got 7th. And then round 3 he went dead clean and got a 7th, but on the same split of 4 and 5, I believe. So frustrating. He then wanted to change a few things on the car himself, which of course he will be fully obligated to do as he sees fit. And he could be the first one to say that he probably went the wrong way, because we changed it back for the finals, of course. So, you know, he was relying on 2 7s, which, hey, listen, it's the worst way in having a 14, isn't it? You know, so.
Well,
yeah,
it was good enough. It was good enough, though. So,
yeah. So I thought his driving was really good. Did you make any change? What changes did you make during the day to try and cope with what we see as medium grip?
There's no way on earth if we're going to disagree on something, it's going to be that. There's no way it's medium grip. Listen, I'll tell you what adds to it is the undulations. So when the car comes off its suspension, then reloads up. If it was dead flat, then you could argue the scenario that of how high the grip is. But because you have undulations and ups and downs and little hops, and of course, no need to mention the back section, because realistically, you can't take that fast, you know, to be a massive issue. But when you drop down the hill and you've got that little sort of up rise of the suspension, and then you load up again, those kind of scenarios is what gives you the added grip factor, and that's where it becomes really difficult. You know, I mean, our car's quite neutral, to be fair, so I didn't think there would be too much of an issue for him, but it's definitely not medium grip, that's for sure.
Cheers, boss. Cheers, boss. So
hang on a minute. I think I'll take some of the credit for the grip there, because I actually cleaned that on the Friday with that blower thing. Hours in the rain.
Yeah.
Hours.
So
with my trolley.
Funny actually, when it drizzled, and I mean it didn't rain, but it drizzled. It seemed as if I mean, unless I'm going absolutely balmy, but I actually thought the grip came up slightly, because it's as if it settled any dust.
Oh, you know? Yeah, when the racing started, it made it go a bit almost tacky in a way. Yeah.
I was quite convinced that the grip was even higher, but look, it's good. There was, I know some of the top guys weren't using new tyres every run, so that sort of reflects down into the lower levels. That means that you're not throwing a brand new set of tyres on every single run.
Yeah.
So that can only be good. I always, when people criticise and give critique on tracks, even myself, I always turn around and say, look, it's the same for everybody, you know. And that's something that I think that people should remember. It is the same for everybody. The only difference is that, like I said earlier on, I'm Junction 3, M3. I can't come to Southport to get some track time. It's just too far. And God, if I say the next bit, there's going to be a lot of people shooting me down. But it begs the question that is our national format right? 2-3 minute practices, and you've got to compete with some local guys that have done, I don't know, let's just say hundreds of laps. Let's not be silly and say thousands like we know some have. But how can you compete?
Tony, how we practice when anyone starts at Southport and they go, "I want to get better," and I say, "What do you do?" So you turn up with your car for an entire day, and you just drive round and round that back section. Just round and round that back. Don't go anywhere else. Just do that.
Okay. Yeah. There's a little story about that,
Go on.
And I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. I really don't. I remember. I don't know if it was the last time we came to Southport or the time before that, but I remember Neil, as in Neil Cragg. He would do the back section, jump across the track, do the back section, jump across the track, do the back section, and he did this for the duration of his practice. Yes. And it was only literally drove the rest of the track for maybe 2 or 3 laps, because he knew clearly that back section is key.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he has a different line from everybody else.
Everybody else.
Possibly.
No, he does.
He's a talented guy anyway, but...
he does. Whereas we all tend to... And I always go, well, surely the best lines is Evo's line, where everyone's dropped in the middle and they drop down. It's like the apex of that middle bump is actually 18 inches further away from the actual apex of that bump.
Yep.
Craggy turns up earlier than anyone else, and the extra bobble that normally catches people out, he jumps it.
He jumps it, yes. Yes, there was... I think,
we just watched it and we just went, what the hell has he just done?
Yeah. He said you've got 0.2 of a second after coming off that next bit before you make your mind up if you're going to jump it or not. He said, if you're not, you've
doing
got
it every lap. That's the key. If you can do it every lap, you're in business, aren't you? You've got aces there, haven't you? But doing it every lap is another matter altogether. I thought he showed his skill on the Southport track in the I think it was the last lap when he was chasing Lee down in I think the last leg of the A, and wow, proper quick.
Unbelievable.
Very, very, very impressive.
The four-wheel drive as well. That was staggering. The four-wheel drive on Sunday was absolutely flying. Absolutely flying.
I think again, people listening to this must agree with my next statement. He's been driving that car forever. And likewise with Lee. I'm not too sure if Lee was on their prototype car or not, but they're developing cars with their teams. These are big teams, and if they can't drive it, then what chance has anyone else got to drive it? Rather than and I keep repeating this only because in hindsight I would have done things differently. And then you get someone like Si not turned the wheel with the car, and maybe people are expecting too much. He wasn't, fair enough to him, and I was just hopeful, of course. But you're racing against guys that are in real tune with what they're putting down from word go.
Yeah.
And then you've got to learn your car in 2-3 minute sessions. I'm not too sure.
So what would you think? Because we attend all the UPL meetings, right?
Yep.
Which are the ones I always say that is our national series. That is our little Big Blue Tents national series, and everyone should go because it's great. And we get there on the Friday and we practice. When we went to Robin Hood, we got to Robin Hood at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and came off the track at 8.
Okay, look, I have to tell you, it's nothing to do with Upal, but Upal has got a good tune to what they do, and of course it stems from Jimmy's personality. We all know this, you know. We all miss the guy, you know. And it was all about having some fun, but also because there aren't. It's not run by an organisation as such that sets all these rules and regulations. There's a fun element to it, and of course, the more track time you can get, the more fun it's going to be. And I think that precedent was set quite some time ago. And I would like to see nationals if it was my choice. And look, I tried to say it on my Facebook page and got shut down. But it's difficult to explain how I feel. I just feel that you need a day's practice on the track.
Oh, Tony, you're preaching to the choir with us too. I promise you, because as far as I'm concerned, you should get time to practice. Without a doubt, you should get more time to practice. I think it's.
I look at it this way: you take the Friday off anyway. There is nobody. Yeah. If it's not 90%, it's 95% of the field are there the day before, right? Because they've taken the afternoon off or whatever. So why not change it to
4-minute time slots?
I don't know how people are going to adhere to what I'm saying here, but I would like to see them more like events rather than meetings. I think 6 is too many. I think, in my opinion, I hope people don't shoot me down, but I think it should be less people. And I certainly do not want to disrespect any of the lesser drivers, because I'm going that way, if you like, you know. I think that you should qualify through your regionals to race to your nationals. That's the way that I see it. So I'm sorry,
Tony, we agree. Well, I certainly agree.
You know, I think
idea
that your
would
regionals,
to do qualify in
nationals.
To qualify in and cut the nationals down to 60. I really would.
I'm not too sure 60, but there was a proposal, because as you know, I was on the committee for some time. There is quite a nice proposal to maybe introduce it down to 80 people, because with 80 people you can have a lot more practice, and even add an extra round of qualification and all sorts of things into it. And then it does become a little bit more elitist.
So what would you say then? The top 15 from every region of the country would get a national space, just in theory, just to think this one out. So top 15 in every region would get a space in the national series. Now, for me, what that would do is mean that the regionals would then become the bigger events, because you'd have more people fighting over the local tracks to go to the regionals to try and get their place at a national that would have just done their sort of nationals anyway, without having to fight for it.
I'll take it a little bit deeper for you. I don't think you can have, let's say, top 10 or top 15. You'll have to have a percentage, because of course some regions might have 60 people, some might have 120 people. So you would have to also think a little bit further, because there are a couple of regions that are nearly full at regionals. So you can't deprive a person whether he can have the chance in getting into a regional stroke national event. So you would have to sort of think about that very carefully, whether you can take on, if you like, 130 or 140 people at a meeting, right? So that's the number one. The number two scenario here is not only the qualification of the nationals. It's the extra revenue for every club in the country, because you've got possibly 120 guys that may not do all the regionals. I mean, let's be realistic. I know people like Tom Yardy, for example, always do regionals. That's what they do. I mean, he was a regional rep. I'm not too sure if he still is. So, you've got these guys that do their regionals, but you do have a bundle of people that is not obligatory to do regionals. So that's extra revenue for the club. So let's just talk about one club. I'll pick them out the crowd. Let's just say the Stopfold club that races in my region, where they will have maybe 70 to 90 people in a two-wheel drive event. They will have over 100. That extra revenue gives them the license to do more to their track. Yeah. So theoretically, if that's happening around the country, we have better facilities. The better facilities we have, theoretically, in the future, as everything grows, we will have better rostrums, we will have better race controls, better lap timing, better AstroTurf on tracks, and then you get clubs feeling that they can apply for a national too. So you have more clubs applying. The more clubs apply, that means the criteria for holding a national, the standard, goes up. It doesn't go down, it goes up. And that's why I think that system could work. Now, logistically, whether you can do it or not, that's a different matter altogether. That's for the powers to be to set the right, rules, regulations, rhythms, call it whatever you want to make it happen. But I just think that when you've got a local guy and he goes to, and I mentioned Stopfold, it could be Torch, Kidderminster, it could be wherever, he goes to the club, doesn't he want to see Lee Martin race, Lee Martin will say, well, I've got obligations, he's a professional.
Yeah,
that's not an organisation problem. That's Lee's problem, how to manage that. That's nothing to do with organisers, in my opinion.
That could be sorted, though, by you can turn around and say lower the number of F1s and say all last year's F1s get in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, champions can, I suppose, have a buy, but they're on the same token, the idea is that the local, look, when you take Lee Martin back some time ago and you ask him about his roots, he used to stand at trackside and watch the superstars race. I remember, bless him, with his father, Pete Martin, because Lee used to race with my son some time ago, because my son used to race as well. And basically, his dad wanted to take him everywhere so he could see the top guys, learn the sport and everything else. I mean, Lee will be the first person to admit all of this, Now, if at local clubs, the local clubs don't see him race at that regional event, then they can't get into a national. They don't see him race, And I think that that's where maybe it's not a big loss, but it is a loss,
Yeah.
Everybody has different opinions. I mean, I just think that there is some mileage in what I'm saying, whether it's the right way or not. Hey, it's just an opinion.
Well, we really like that you're giving your opinions here, and I think we've covered a load of stuff, and probably most of it wasn't even on the list that I had or questions I'd sent. But I want to sort of close you off now and sort of say I've really enjoyed it, Tony. Thanks very much. It's been really good.
Tony, it has been great, and there's obviously a lot more that we could talk about as well. And
listen, I hope I haven't offended anyone with my...
No, bollocks to him, Tony. You haven't offended anyone.
Sometimes straightforward opinions,
But, no, Tony, if you had said anything, we would have said it, but we would have mentioned it. But I think you've been more than fair. I think people are going to listen to this and go, "That's Tony Evdoka, He's just a big cuddly teddy bear here, isn't he?"
Hey, they can come and give me a cuddle anytime.
Hey.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
And also, we've also, I think I said, we're going to speak to one of your team, Joey Seacup, and the other reprobate Martin Owen in a bit now. So we'll.
Hey, great. I mean, look, they're both lovely guys. Joe loves his racing. Martin certainly does. I mean, he's jet setting all over the blooming world. He is, aren't he?
Yeah. That's what we're here for.
But I look forward to hearing what they got to say.
Cheers, Tony. Thanks for your time, and we'll.
Thanks, guys. Thanks very much.
When your Serpent stuff came out, you just drop us a note, send us a Facebook message, and we'll get you on, even if it's only for 10 minutes, to talk about something for your new Serpents.
Yeah, no probs.
Cheers. Thanks very much.
Take
Bye
care,
now.
buddy. See you soon,
guys. Yeah. Ciao, everyone. Cheers.
There we go.
Well, that's great.
There we go, mate. That really was great. What a lovely guy he is.
Yeah, a lovely fella. But what we'll do now is I'll just try and press the buttons to get the other two reprobates on.
Well, yeah, go for it. Who is coming on? Joey and
Martin Owen.
Okie dokie. Let's see if we can master a 4-way call then.
Ooh, 4-way.
Hello, Martin. How are you?
Hello. Yeah, I'm good.
Good. So, have you got Joey on as well, or what's going on here? Because I've got the recorder.
I can't see any Joey or hear him, so that's fine. I'm quite happy with that.
I'm guessing Aiden's still there.
I'm still here, yeah.
Yes, yeah. But I can't see any Joey or hear.
What's been going on with you then, bud?
Not much, right? Just recovering from 2 weeks holiday and just trying to get back in the swing of things.
Very nice.
And rebuild very dirty cars.
Yeah, some of them looked absolutely hanging when they were coming off that track.
My 2-wheel drive was brand new for that event, and it came off looking like it'd done a season of racing.
Just for anybody who is listening's benefit, we are talking about the Euros that happened in Italy the other week. That Martin was out. We had all the coverage from RC Racing TV with DC and obviously all the superstars and everybody there. And Martin was there as well.
Yeah, and us. So where is C-Cup? Has he got connection issues?
I don't know.
Aiden's supposed to be adding him.
I've added him. He looks like he's on the call. I'll send him a message and see what he says. Yeah, what I would say is the child, or certainly one of the Nick Childs still turned up, and as I was scrutinizing his car, it still had Euro dirt on.
Yeah, the stuff gets everywhere. It's just concrete dust.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It just got everywhere.
What was the track like though? It looked like the jumps looked ace, but a massive part of do or die. And if you died, it was just a fatal almost run over.
Yeah, I mean, what the TV didn't show is how big they were and how much time your car spent in the air, not on the track.
Yeah.
They're just in the air the whole time. And 4-wheel drive was a little bit different, but 2-wheel drive you could really see. So you had Leah Neal in the A, and you could see they've raced on tracks like that for 15, 20 odd years and were used to it. Then you had this massive gap where there was no Brits in like the B, the C. I think it was one in the D, and then we just filled the rest of the finals. In 4-wheel drive, we had a few more. Paul Crompton made the B, and I think Josh Holdress made the D.
Yeah.
So D or C, I can't remember. So we filled the gaps a little bit more on 4-wheel. Obviously, because you're 5 days in, you're kind of used to the track by then. But it was just big. It was an 8-scale track, although I think for 8-scale it'd almost be too small. I think Neil said it's borderline whether it's almost too big for 10th and almost too small for 8th.
Yeah, it did seem like that. I mean, there were bits of it that because we obviously watched a lot of the coverage and did all the liking and sharing and stuff like that on Facebook for it, but it really seemed to me that it seemed too big, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
It was really, it was a really odd thing to watch because it just kind of. Oh, hang on, I've got Joey coming in.
Ooh.
Hang on a minute. Hi, mate.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm alright.
I've lost the other two, so just hold on a moment.
I couldn't connect to Aidan.
Okay, all right. Hang on a minute. Let me get these lot in, and I'll see if let me see if I can work some magic here, and I'll try and get everybody in together. Hold on.
Get down.
So can we? Are you that one? So are we all? Everybody there? Oh, not everybody's there. Everybody seems to have gone. I think I've lost. Joey, you still there? Oh God, no one can hear me anymore. Okay. Right, what I'm going to do, because I'm having technical issues here, is I'm going to call everyone back. So, hold on a minute, because we're still recording. Sorry, I'll just keep going. Now, what I need to do is go there, and let's get Aidan back in.
Hi, mate. How you doing?
Hi, mate. What the hell have you been doing?
I've been chatting to Martin Owen. I think it
On
might
the
be an
call?
issue with getting 4 people on a call.
I'm not 100% sure it will be. Where are we? Where's Joey gone off of my contacts? He's not on my contacts for some reason. Let me have a look on here, see if I can find him. There we go. Okay, let's see if he gets this. Hello? You know...
Fixed it?
Oh, hang on a minute.
Oh, hello.
Who have we
Yay,
got here?
we
Right,
got
there's
one of
Joe.
them.
Now, who is that one there? Who have we got? Everybody now? Is that everyone?
Has Martin connected?
Oh, no.
We were speaking to Martin before.
Hang on a minute. Wait a minute.
I think...
This should get Martin on the call.
hello.
There? Ah,
I'm here.
there we go. I knew
I
I
think
could do
I
it.
broke it.
I knew I could do
Oh,
it.
C-Cup. Did you sit on it?
I sat on summit.
Yeah. Standard.
Good to see you at the weekend, buddy, as well.
And you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you poor guys had to put up with him, didn't you? Never mind.
Whoa.
There to watch me have a 2-hour-long sleep trackside whilst they were all qualifying on Sunday as well.
They didn't sleep in the A finals there.
Oh my God, they were awesome.
Good, isn't it?
They were really, really good. That was impressive watching those. Did you see any of the live stuff that we did?
Yeah, I watched most of it. It was all good. To be fair, I managed to follow everything the whole weekend.
Oh, that's cool.
Why telling the wife that I'm not watching RC cars and I'm doing stuff for work.
He lies.
He lies. So now we're all here. We're going to talk about what we're going to talk about. Euros.
Yeah. Yes,
Joey,
obviously
you
you two got
You go. We haven't
plenty
heard
of
from you.
coverage over there.
What do we want to know?
Well, give us some dirt. What was kicking off behind the scenes that we didn't get to hear about?
To be fair, this was actually quite a tame year, considering.
Even with all the
Inserts.
X-ray cheating.
Inserts.
Oh yeah, inserts. Yeah, Proline had apparently changed their inserts or something, and They were slightly too soft.
Oh,
And it
dear.
was a bit. I mean, I think Mick Cragg, Paul Worsley, and a few others had spent pretty much most of the morning fondling tyres and inserts, and it was good fun.
Well,
A little bit of controversy, but nothing major.
it's important.
No, we all
to
ended
do.
up in the same insert.
But yeah, they ended up making the rule that everybody used what we had, so nobody was using 2-stage or previous Euros foam. So
Okay.
They did a good job with that, to be fair.
oh yeah, they got the job done.
So what was the difference between what they were going to use and what was used?
The original stuff to say that we used last year, the insert was a slightly sort of more. It was harder, whereas this year it seemed to be very very soft, which was very bizarre.
Okay,
But
and in what way
I don't
did
work
that?
for Proline or have any insight to Proline, so I don't know what was going on.
But what did
They-
that do to the car and the handling of it? What was the difference?
It seemed to wear tyres out a lot quicker because obviously the tyre was
Okay.
expanding more.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I see that. Yeah.
So those who were who would normally say two to three runs out of a set were changing their tactics quite rapidly, I guess.
Yeah, I think some people said was the people who'd had a lot of practice had practiced on one insert at that track or on similar tracks. And I think they were the ones who seemed to be more upset.
Well, I mean, I'm not a Euros expert in any way, shape or form. So it's kind of like I've got to run what I've got, basically. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But we got there in the end and we got through it, so...
Yeah, that was it, really.
That was
And
the only controversial thing, really.
And how
Martin
did
ended up in
X-Ray put a protest in right at the end
they?
with
with Neil.
with an unhappy refereeing decision or something, wasn't it? Or
Yeah,
Really?
That son got pushed aside.
obviously, for those who don't know, my father is the referee,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
so I got to hear about. Well,
And I can actually say Joey gets more grief than any of us when he's getting refed.
Well,
I've heard his dad shout it more than he shouts at anyone.
I think.
Oh, yeah,
I think he should do. Someone
I
needs to
have been
control
known
him.
to tell my dad where to go sometimes.
Well,
Not many people can do that, I guess.
No, I don't think many people would. He's perfected that glare.
Oh yeah, the glare.
And even when I was asking him what did he want for his breakfast, they weren't happy. I only gave him burgers for lunch on the Saturday. I think they were expecting more than burgers.
Yeah, he did say something about that in the car on the way home.
Yeah.
He wanted a little bit more variety.
Yeah, so that we realised that once I'd handed them a burger.
I think
I think
the cat meat they used in those burgers was variety enough.
Yeah.
To be fair, it is sort of like the Liverpool era, so it could be almost any meat.
It could be
any
bit
cat
of
or
monkey in
dog.
Hey, at least they got food, unlike us on the last night in Italy.
Oh, that was just horrendous.
Joel Gate.
Oh, dear.
It was just so fun to watch Joel's meltdown.
Why did Joel have a meltdown?
Because his food didn't turn up.
it took it did. It took 4 hours to arrive.
Right.
Well, no, I think no. Sorry, we were there for about 4 hours, and it took about 3 hours for his food to arrive. Oh. And he'd already had a few too many to drink, so a young lad, getting a bit leery,
and he never has a Scouse accent till he's drunk.
Oh yeah, this is the best bit. I've never heard him so Scouse in my life. I've been racing with Joel for a while.
It was like Stephen Gerrard had come to a meal. It was unreal.
Yeah.
And like the waitress or waiter brought his food out, and he just point blank refused it and told him to take it back to the kitchen and do one.
Okay.
In a polite term, I guess.
Yeah. He dropped a few F-bombs.
Well,
He dropped a lot of F-bombs. There wasn't a few, there was a lot.
And then we left. And then we left the restaurant, and unfortunately, Alex Springer decided to take his pint glass with him, and we got kind of chased down the road. Then.
oh dear.
It's all gone quiet.
Oh
No,
dear.
you're still there.
Oh no, we're still here.
We're still here.
Yeah, I see. There's
Just
always one.
Joey's dodgy internet connection.
And what's
He's
that?
gone again.
He's still hanging around there. I reckon he's probably pushed the silence button.
Button, yeah.
There he
No,
goes.
he's gone.
No, he's gone.
Oh well.
He's gone. Technology just isn't for some people, is it? Oh no, is he back?
Oh no,
I
he's
don't know what
back.
happened there, I just fell out.
He's
Hey, he's back.
You pressed a button, didn't you, Joe?
No, I don't
You
know
were
nothing.
mashing the keypad with your palm, weren't you, Ken?
Probably. I was bashing in my skull.
Yeah.
We see
Bit
the
like
issue.
how you bashed
go
me
on.
over the finish line in the four-wheel drive final.
He helped.
If I could give one piece of advice to anyone who listens to this podcast who's never done a Euros before,
Yeah.
don't be frightened. Just book in. It is an absolute smashing week. Whether you do well or not, it is really good fun.
I think the bit that puts people off is, and what we can ask you, is the cost of booking in.
I mean, it's 100. I think it was 125, 150, 125 euros,
Yeah,
or something like that.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
What's
But if you do
Is
one
that,
class,
hang on a
something
minute.
like £85
Okay, so
So
80,
it's-
85 quid for
one
your,
class,
for one
or
class.
125 or 150 for two classes.
Let's be generous. Let's say 125 for two classes. How much is an EFRA
Yeah.
license?
60 quid.
60 quid.
Six.
But then the EFRA license doesn't just run out in that week. You can say you've got friends in other countries that you fancy going racing with and doing their nationals or something. Then it covers you while you're there.
Yeah. But that's still 100 and which you can go to
85.
Belgium, you go to Campout in Belgium, and you don't need to pay them 185 quid.
Yeah, this is true. But can you honestly turn around and say that you can sit down and have a relatively decent conversation with, I don't know, I'm going to name drop now, like Shinadachi? Can you sit down and have a conversation with Shinadachi at Belgium?
Well, when I went to Belgium, I saw Lee take a shower. So, frankly, that's the highlight of my life.
I feel so sorry for Lee. I really do.
oh, Lee.
Yeah, that was my time in Belgium.
Do you know
Lee
what?
had a shower.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Do you know what? This weekend I got to witness Aiden's reaction of actually being in the same arena as Lee, like in the same vicinity. You know, when he's within eyesight shot of him, and
Yeah.
Aiden turns into I'm not going to go and talk to him. No,
Yeah,
I'm not going to go and talk to him.
I was playing too cool. I can
Whereas-
show you. I'll take a picture.
Was
I
it
ha-
that
What?
picture of you and Stevie when you were stood next to Mick Craig and you were both like pondering whether to ask him a question or not?
Yeah,
Aiden
yeah.
had his hand in his pocket the whole time.
Again, one of the easiest people to approach at racing. He
was ace.
He will help anyone.
Just
Okay.
don't ever do it when Neil's racing.
Yeah, don't go there.
No.
We just had a 10-minute conversation with him regarding his dog. So that was the
Paddy.
Oh,
Good
Paddy,
old Paddy.
Paddy,
Yeah.
the diabetic dog. And I was talking to Sue, so that was part of the funny thing that that's the thing. Oh, my word, was stood next to Mick Craig, and to be honest, I was very excited.
Do you know?
But I'd already spent 10-15 minutes chatting to him about the dog.
I reckon if Mick started a Paddy the Dog Facebook page, it would be more popular than Neil's one in about a week.
There's
That's
an
just
ongoing
what
joke
happens,
when
isn't
when they travel to nationals that Neil always has to ride in the back and Paddy has to ride up front or with him,
Yeah. Paddy is better looking.
and less hairy.
Yeah.
There is actually less hair on Paddy. So I actually got a piece of paper of all the stuff I was doing. When I needed the scrutiny, when I needed to marshal, all through the day. And a bit I had, go talk to Lee. Actually penciled in my diary for the day.
Did you talk to Lee?
Yeah, I did speak to him, but every time I went walking to Lee, I bumped into Worsley, who wanted something doing, or the toilets were full, or something else would happen. Also, as I was doing timekeeping for the for the practice. After the second practice, Lee came out. Hi, how you doing? Hey, nice to see you. Yeah. Oh, do us a favour. Throw me car on for second practice. So there's no
special treatment.
Special treatment. Leon must have been busy doing something else.
Probably fixing his car.
Yeah. And literally, I threw out the track. I threw out a millisecond later. Craggy went past by about a millimetre, and then he crushed the pair of them. So I was never allowed to do that again. But no, so it was. But that is the thing. They are super approachable. Mick was lovely with us throughout the entire weekend. Neil came over to us and said hello and introduced himself. You've never seen our Tommy Tansley run so fast when he sees Neil talking to me in Gups.
That's another point for doing the Euros and stuff. It's like my first Euros was in 2006, and obviously I knew of Neil Craig, world champion, multiple European, national, etc. But I think 2000 I was really young, probably about 11 or 12 at the time.
Yeah,
and like I would never have thought I'd actually have a conversation, let alone sit in the same car as Neil Craig, because we were driving back from the track to the hotel, and they were in the same hotel. They actually stayed in the room next door to me, where me and my brother were, which was like, oh, hello, superstars are living next door.
Yeah,
and Drescher broke the hire car, so they flagged us down at the side of the road. We picked Neil up, and he sat in the middle between me and my brother, and I'm like, my brother's got Neil's car, and I've got someone else's car, and we're just like absolutely starstruck. That Neil Craig was in our car.
Yeah,
but it's like they are so easy to approach and have a chat with. I mean, you have a beer with them and stuff, and even at the Euros, it's really easy to talk to all of them.
At any point during that car journey, were they going, this isn't the way to the track, lads? Because I can just picture it as Aidan on his way, seeing Lee on the side of the road, picking him up and going, yeah, Lee, we're on the way to the track, mate. Yeah.
Taking him back to his house and locking him in his dungeon.
That's it.
I feel the same when I see Martin Owen, to be fair. I think, Martin Owen, I'd love to take you back to my dungeon. I love Martin Owen.
That's how we all think about Martin Owen.
He's my absolute hero.
Well, no one's been on this podcast more than Martin Owen.
Lee has. Lee's been on it twice.
Yeah, but I thought you'd been on three. This is the third time, I thought.
No, this is my second.
Oh, he's chasing the stars.
He's chasing. He's chasing.
And obviously, me and Martin were the life of the Euros, as many have explained.
Without a shadow of a doubt, the three amigos, DC and U2, are the reason people are even thinking about going to the Euros next year.
Oh, yeah,
it is just, like I said, even if your results aren't that good, it's just an absolute laugh. It really is just a laugh.
But you've got to do at least one BRCA national to be considered to get in anyway, haven't you?
Correct. Yeah.
I don't know the rules.
Yeah, no, you have to do just one.
I'm assuming.
As long as you've done one, and there's enough spaces, which evidently this year there would have been, you will get an invite if enough people.
Yeah, that would give you an invite for next year.
Yeah.
Even though there doesn't seem to be that many, the UK always relatively send the biggest team.
Yeah, we did have the biggest team.
That's because
it's really strange.
There was a few missing. There was a few top guys missing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was.
People like I guess you could say like Ellis.
Tom Cockles.
They sit. Yeah, Cockers is. I think Cockers is like. He's just semi-retiring. I think. I don't know.
He's going to the Worlds. He's going to the Worlds.
Yeah, he's doing the Worlds.
Is he? Yeah.
I know. I think he was in Sweden last week for a wedding or something. Or
okay. Has he just had enough for the time being, or?
What was that? Sorry.
Has he just had enough for the time being?
I don't know. There's something you'd probably have to speak with Mr. Cockerell himself.
Well, get in touch, Tom.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with his life.
Oh.
Well, we'll get him on.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
But then, obviously, like
he's still awesome fast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he'll always be in the top 10.
Yeah.
No matter where he is, what nationally he does.
Yeah. Does that annoy you too? That people can take it less seriously than used to and just walk into the top 10?
No.
No.
I know my place in the RC world.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
everybody
and-
gets that point.
I think I'm more of a big character off track than I am on track.
Right.
Definitely big.
Ooh.
Jesus. Mark Lowen. Excuse me. Out of the current 4 of us, 3 of us could do with going to Weight Watchers.
Well, yeah, apart from Guppy, we all could be going, I suppose.
Yeah. Guppy needs a good meal.
Guppy needs to put on weight.
Yeah.
Hey, come on.
Yeah.
I'm a fine physique of a man.
Of a man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I mean, the Euros, yeah, I mean, this year as well, it felt, and C-Cup might disagree, but it did feel like a real good, the UK felt like a real team effort.
Yeah, how did you find it with managing the team over there then? What was the...
Didn't have to do much. It was quite nice.
But what
was my
did you have
fault.
to do?
It's just a lot of you have to attend all the drivers. They don't have, because of the language barrier. They don't have a driver's briefing.
Right.
So basically, I have to go to the team manager's briefing. They tell us everything, and then we have to go back and tell our teams what's going on. Mm-hmm. And we actually twice, I think, Jerry, didn't we? We actually had a proper team meeting away from the pits and had a little get together and a little pep talk, and it was quite nice.
What was your pep talk?
I can't remember. It was abusive. It was abusive, but I can't remember exactly what it was.
Well,
I think it was basically.
We've got to beat these eyes in their own backyard.
Yeah, I think it was basically, let's actually go and win this. And then I looked at Lee and Neil, went, "No, that's down to you two." And walked off.
Yeah.
We'll just prop up the pedestals for you, and you go and actually stand on them.
Yeah. So, but and Lee went and won it, which was he drove awesome.
I mean, we were stood together, weren't we, Martin? And you were shaking like a leaf, and
yeah. I actually wanted to win, and I
was just shouting at Lee, getting aggro at him, like, "Don't you dare crash now!"
Yeah.
And have you managed to get all the Italian concrete clay mud off of your cars?
Yeah, Southport, when it was wet, got rid of that for me.
Oh,
you very much.
Yeah, plenty left on the track.
Most of it's on the floor in my office.
To be fair, most of it's in my suitcase and my Ojo bag.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, Italian ladies, we like them, didn't we, C-Cup?
Oh, there were a few nice ones kicking about, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can't say who or what, but one of the poor girls just kept getting chatted up by all the elderly gentlemen.
Not just the elderly gentlemen, but some of the youngsters as well were trying to put their 2 pence in the pot.
I'm going to drop a name, but someone added her on Facebook. Paul Crichton.
Hey!
It was probably his ginger hair that did it.
Yeah.
His hair didn't look that ginger.
She gave me a cheeky wink at one point as well.
Yeah,
but then
she
again,
did.
she could have been winking at someone else.
Yeah.
Maybe that was just a twitch or something.
She got something in her eye.
Maybe she
Lot of
likes
dust.
really tall men.
Yeah, she might do.
I remember Jimmy's report when he went to Euros in Italy.
Oh, I think we've lost Joey again.
Oh, he's gone again.
Oh,
That's what he was like at Euros. He was like in and out. You'd be there, and he'd be right behind you, and then he'd kind of disappear, and then you'd turn around and be right there again. You can't miss him because he's a lot of man.
Yeah, he is.
Although I do believe one of the Hall's little brothers got him really good because he said something about, "I'm 26," and the little Tommy or Jamie turned around and went, "Is that stoned?"
Oh.
And I've never seen C-Cup speechless, which was quite funny. Oh, he's back.
I don't know what's going on.
You keep touching buttons.
Yeah.
It's stuck on my face, so I don't know how.
Buttons are not toys.
Stop mashing the
what
pad
Seb
with your
told us.
face.
I'll tell you what, Go on.
Like you guys were saying, like Aidan and Guppy, watching Neil and Lee at the stand of a national going around continuously contesting each other.
Yeah.
To then see when you go to the Euros and you see like Bruno, who else? Michael Olowski.
Yeah.
And even the youngsters like Kobovic and Yuna and even Marlin, like watching those guys go around is a whole new experience in itself as well.
Yeah, well,
Right.
to be fair, I'll see Orlowski at the weekend.
Ah,
Yeah,
this
he's
International.
He's going, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah, he is.
He is indeed.
I'm not going.
I'm
going to go show my local club some love.
I spoke to him
I'll have a-
earlier this evening to sort of say, it'd be good to see you there. I asked him if he was going to do the endurance race, and he said, "Yeah, I'll be doing it. Yeah, I'll be doing it." I said, "Oh, what team are you? What team are you going to be doing?" He goes, "Oh, Team Schumacher." And I went, "Well, someone's got to, I suppose." Just left doing that one. Yeah, he was good.
No, I've got a
I'm sure we'll
I've got
get
a
him on
weekend off moving house. So
Was
Right,
the thing is, what I find is you national guys just fade at the pressure of racing me at an open weekend.
Yeah. I'm
Not you,
scared, to
Martin.
be honest. I don't want to race anyone at Hoople. I'm scared.
I love the Upel meeting. I think it's an absolutely cracking weekend.
Yeah, they are good fun. They are good fun.
I think it's on par with fun at the Euros.
Yeah.
Okay. It's that sort of atmosphere, is it?
It's a non-serious race on the calendar, I guess. It's in between nationals, and it's always seems to be the weaker end after the Euros. So everyone just needs to sort of relax and have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
More to the point, who's kidnapped Neil Craig's dog or Nick's dog? Because I can hear it in the background.
Oh no,
Aidan, did you kidnap the dog?
that's my girlfriend's dog,
Right.
Okay.
What's your girlfriend's dog's name?
Toby.
Toby. Okay, because people do say when you get drivers on, you should ask them questions. Like sticks or wheel or something. So I think more people are interested in dogs.
Well, I'm not a homosexual, so I'll use sticks.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I am, and I use a steering wheel. There you go.
It is a very controversial topic, sticks or wheel.
It is. It is.
What's even better is when you get taken out at the end of your four-wheel drive at final at the Euros, or you crash, depending on where you saw it from, is when you drop your controller afterwards, isn't it, C-Cup?
Or you just dropped your knees in sheer disbelief that you've threw a final away and then won it.
Yeah. Yeah. Two
Did you
Brits
spike-
up there making absolute idiots of themselves.
Did you spike your radio, C-Cup?
Oh,
No,
dear.
Martin did. I didn't. I couldn't spike mine because it'd probably break anyway.
Yeah.
Right,
No,
okay.
I didn't spike it. I didn't kind of do a Mayfield. It just fell out my hands.
Okay.
I dropped it. And the steering wheel. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Right.
well, if you had sticks, you wouldn't have dropped it.
No, I wouldn't have.
No.
It must just be a steering
So
wheel.
can
'Cause
you
all you
drive
boys use
with-
sticks?
Can you drive with sticks as well then?
Yeah, but not very well.
Yeah, it's a similar
no,
sort of
I'm-
thing for me. I
I'm
can get
terrible
around
the
with a
other way.
wheel. I can definitely get round a track with a wheel. I'm just much quicker with a set of sticks. That's just how it's been.
I forget how the brake system works when you
Yeah.
using a steering wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
panic and accelerate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's how I play COD. If anything pops out, squeeze the trigger.
Or as I'm coming out of the last corner onto the straight, rather than pull back, I push forwards to go, and then just ending up braking at the start of the straight, or as you come out of a corner. That's the thing I end up doing is pushing stop when I need to go, and it just I can do it, but it takes me a good few laps to get my head in the motion of using the wheel and the trigger. But once I'm there, I can get round definitely with a wheel. But
I think with the current market of stick radios, I mean, you've got the Sanwas obviously at top of the market, the KOs as well.
Mm-hmm.
But there isn't anything else out there.
No.
Okay, I suppose the Futaba things, the 4GRs or something, they're quite decent radios. But I mean, the Sanwas are in the region of sort of £500-600. The KOs are in the sort of the region of 300-400, and you look at it going, I could buy like a really cheap wheel radio for like £100, and it'd still be on the level of decent. I mean, if I had enough time over the winter and I had to go that route, then I'd probably spend all winter trying to drive a wheel radio.
Really?
But I'd probably end up I'd break a lot of wishbones in the process.
Yeah. When you people come on and they say, "Oh, you've all got sticks," I say, "No. If you've never done this before, get a wheel." But I think if you've had sticks, because for me it was having a toy car as a kid, having a Grasshopper Super G with sticks, and then it was just natural to stick with sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my first RC car was like some Tamiya Bullfrogs or whatever it's called, and that came with some like really cheap 27 meg ACOMs thing. Yeah.
Attack car.
And that's all I ever knew.
Yeah.
Mine came with a steering wheel, and that's all I ever know.
Well, like you said, everybody's got their one, haven't they? I can't sit here and say one's better than the other. Obviously, I prefer sticks for me, but Martin drives
at the end of the day, they do the exact same thing. They control the exact same things, whether you're a stick man or a wheel man. It doesn't really. It's just personal preference.
Yeah, it is. So, there is. Joe, you were a real man and came racing at Southport this weekend, where Mark
Indeedy.
Just wet himself over the view. He just sat there and went, "Don't think I can handle grip. Any grip. Never mind. Southport, brushed clean." I think. Is it Chris?
I wish I'd gone
up?
because our cars went well.
If I'm brutally honest about, I mean, I said I had this conversation with my father on the way home. If I'm brutally honest about Southport at the minute, it's very sort of upsetting that they've removed the characteristics of what I've known Southport to be for the last sort of 12 years that I've been racing.
By what bits are you talking about?
Cobbles, concrete.
Are those the bits?
Oh, he's dropped off.
He's told you what you thought of your track, and he's gone.
He's gone.
He is just fallen off something.
He's still showing there.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, he's back.
Hi, Joe.
No, he's gone.
No, he left.
He's literally
went,
just mashing the phone with his face right now. Are you there?
He's back again.
Hi, mate.
Hello, sorry.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. I spoke to a few people during the weekend about Southport, and they go, and Lee's mentioned it when we had him on the other week. He was sort of sad that the concrete section has gone.
The big thing for me is that the old concrete corner onto the straight was incredible to watch.
Yes.
Not just like Neil and Lee and Ellis and everyone go around it sideways to overtake each other, but even the lower finals. See someone go for like a last-ditch sideways manoeuvre on the inside or the outside was just incredible to watch sometimes.
Yeah, but we have to race it every week. So we're not going to... That was the view. We always want the best thing for us who turn up there every Sunday, and for that is Astro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's how it should be.
And you got to remember the amount of time, money, and effort that has gone into revamping those. Not just covering them in Astro, completely revamping those sections of track to make them raceable and as good as they were at the weekend. I think that's the. Yeah, he's dropped off. He'll come back. I think that's the side of it that's got to be sort of you've got to remember is that it might be disappointing that these features have gone, that they're not there anymore after being there for such a long time. But a massive amount of work and a massive amount of money and time and effort has gone into making them what they are. Yeah. And that's the other side of it. Yeah, it's sad to see the other ones go, but
I don't knock any of the effort the guys have put in weeks prior to the event, and the effort that the guys did on the day. I mean, I know a lot of nationals and stuff lack marshals, especially for practice, whereas you guys had 6 or 7 people just stood there for all 2 rounds of practice.
Yeah, we think everyone does that.
You'll be surprised. Not a lot do.
I'm surprised people don't marshal after they've practiced. I think that's absolutely despicable.
Well,
to be honest.
we used to, but for some reason it sort of just dropped off.
That's
Yeah, you can't enforce it because it's not a rule. That's
to be fair, that's fucking bullshit. Because if you've raced, the rule is you go and marshal, and if you've got any common decency towards anybody else at the track, if you've had 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes practice, you get your ass off the rostrum and you go out and fucking marshal for people. That's what you do. It shouldn't be a question.
There's
I don't
one
get
top
it.
guy that does that every national.
Yeah, there was a few people came. Actually, quite a few of the locals came out because, as in not Southport members, and I actually walked over to them and said, "Did you realise that you don't need to marshal?"
I'm sorry, that really wound me up at the weekend. That really did wind me up at the weekend.
One of the issues why they don't do that is it's only 3 minutes of practice, and
it's only 3 minutes of marshalling.
No, it's not that. It's the turnover.
Yeah.
It would probably take, if we got 3 minutes on after three, and clearly, I'll admit it now, I wait till someone I like just goes down the straight. The buzzes. And then as they go round the corner, I go, start finishing laps off now. So you can tell how much Aidan loves you by when you heard that call.
To be fair, I ignored you a lot, Aidan, and just carried on going.
Yeah, you did. A few people did. You did. Leon did.
Well, to be fair, as I passed you underneath, you said it. I was like, well, I've technically started a lap now, so...
Yeah, that's good. I realise sometimes I call it a bit late to stop other people I didn't like having extra laps. So you can cycle through them if you're not changing marshals. But I was going to say, that is the hardest thing to do to get people to help at the national, is telling people, I need you here at 7:30 in the morning, and you're going to stand on a marshal point.
Yeah, hang on a minute. You're saying about everybody swapping over and stuff like that. Everybody managed to swap over quick enough between rounds.
But that's too. It's like you probably find it takes 2 minutes, whereas we could just cycle through. But people have said that before to us. Oh, it's really good that you marshal, but we just assume that that's what happens elsewhere.
I was shocked to see the amount of people coming off the rostrum and not even making any attempt to go out and help other people out. And especially if you've got people stood there for 2 straight hours doing it, just I was really surprised. If it was me, I would come off the rostrum, and just out of respect for everybody else that was there, I'd go out onto the track and marshal for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And some people did.
I mean, we do that at regionals.
Yeah.
But the problem lies with it is you can't, if someone doesn't do it, you can't give them a penalty or do anything because it's in the rules. You can't do anything about it. But most people, like Matt just said, go and do it because they feel it's the right thing to do. And it is. But,
Because what I noticed was, again, because it's the first national I've been to since the last national that was at Southport, is the other bit that gets, and it goes against what Drescher said it was like in the old days, where teams hated other teams. The amount of times when someone would just pull over next to someone and go, tighten me slipper, and it wasn't about teams, it wasn't about Serpents or Schumachers or anything along those lines. Or if people were rushing through, someone would grab someone else's car and help them get to the rostrum in time. It's a really good group of people who are doing the nationals.
It
is. Yeah.
We're all just one big crazy happy family.
Yeah, you are. It's like a different family.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even again, going back to the Euros, it's very much the same with the Euros. If anyone has an issue, it doesn't matter what T-shirt you're wearing.
No.
Someone will run back and get a wheel nut spanner, or try and replace your shot on the start line or something. It's nice to see that there are people out there that will help.
Yeah, and that is one of the great things about it, without a doubt.
And the other good thing at Euros is everyone watches everyone's final. I mean, all our finals, the whole UK team watching every final.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's nice.
Which was cool. I mean, you're racing and you can hear Leah Neal giving you maximum abuse down below, which is quite funny. But they sat and they watched every single final, and I, got a lot of time for that.
Yeah, without a doubt.
a lot of time. You need to come and do one, see?
Who?
Well,
You guys need to come do a Euros.
Man, well, you know, I could spend a week embarrassing myself on RC Racing TV. Or
I did it, you know.
I did it. I do it on a regular
basis.
basis.
At least you didn't go and do a track walk and welcome everyone to sunny Spain. That was brilliant.
yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. But, you know, that was 5 days of racing.
Welcome to sunny Spain. Oh, no, we're in Italy.
We're in Italy.
Lee didn't notice, though, so, you know.
He's a professional, though, so he you know.
He is, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So we're trying to ask some more serious RC questions. So you're talking about Southport. We're talking about thing, and then so how did your weekend go?
Not very good.
Right.
Let's just say they were my worst 2 results this year so far.
Right, at Southport.
How are you? Because you're a Serpent driver, aren't you? How are you finding the latest revisions of the Serpent cars?
They weren't rubbish.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Quiet for some reason.
Okay.
So they weren't rubbish. Is that as extensive as the report gets? It is.
It is.
That's it.
I think the dog's eating his phone.
Yeah.
No,
It is. No, you haven't, man. You haven't fixed nothing at all.
He must have cheap Craig Drescher internet.
Yeah.
And he's gone.
Yeah, he's got the cheap Craig Drescher internet.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine.
You know, and he was at the Euros. He was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Craig was.
Drescher.
Yeah, and he went around talking to the whole team, and he didn't care who you were driving for. He would come talk to you if you giving setup advice. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, we had him on obviously the last week, he was. He was fantastic to chat to.
I think he made Pete Lyons week because Pete Lyons, that's his absolute hero, and he got to meet him, which for Pete was like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we did rip it out of him for the rest of the week, but you know, he got to meet his hero, which that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing you get with RC, with racing toy cars. At the National, at Euros, as we've talked about 3 or 4 times during this call, that we all do it, yet you could be sat next to the fella who is one of the 10 best toy car drivers in the world.
Yeah. No, it's very true. I mean, we had a selfie and a good chat with Mark Reinhardt, and I, that guy, he may race on the road. I know we're going to yawn and fall asleep, but he's won the world championship a few times. He's, and that was quite cool, and such a nice guy.
Everybody's a nice guy.
Yay, Joey's back.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, I'll tell you what the issue was at the beginning of the phone call when we couldn't get Joe in for the first bit. That was because I was trying to add the wrong Joseph Cockhill.
There's more than one?
Yeah, that's the thing with Skype. Skype is great. It allows us to do
was
this.
that the big, long, weird email address thing, the live at whatever it was, that was coming up on the screen?
Sure.
Because if it was, you weren't the only one that kept trying to add him back in.
Yeah, so if you actually look at our phone call, it actually says there's a Joe Cockhill and a Joseph Cockhill. We're professional to the end. Always.
Oh no! We've still got the live one. Live is that? Oh no, that must be you, mine, because I've got Joe A.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Okay.
Someone's trying to impersonate me.
Yeah, someone's trying to steal identity theft.
God help us.
They're after your setup genius.
Yeah, it didn't quite work this weekend.
What changes did you do?
Several.
Go on.
And nothing seemed to have worked.
You should have copied Simon. His worked.
What he did was he went back to the tent and he mashed the front or back end of the car with his palm.
Yeah.
and then put some new rubber on it and hope for the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much, yeah. Put new tyres on and hope it goes around the corner safely.
Yeah.
I heard tyre wear was non-existent the weekend. From what I was told.
It's not any secret that Southport is my least favourite place to go sometimes.
Yeah, you made that quite clear to me on Sunday. I don't know I think Aiden's having his own technical issues there.
Oh, well.
I'm not. He should be back in a moment once he's turned his car on, or
he's probably been attacked by seagulls again.
Yeah, more than likely. I haven't heard that much.
That's him messing around in the background.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I think
what
happens
like an evening drive.
Every now and then, because he parks up in his car and sits in his car in a car park to do this dogging. Yeah, the old double flash routine.
I'm not dogging.
He's probably been to Southport for some cheeky crack here.
No, I haven't. No, to be honest, I haven't driven my car around there for about 3 weeks. But no.
Are you both at the International this weekend?
No, I'm not going.
You're not going?
You can't take it. You can't take the pressure, mate.
You let down.
I've never been, and Gups made a late decision to go. It's one of those, like one of his setup changes or one of his changes to Yellow Dart, Joe and Barry. He says he tells everyone what he's doing, but he just keeps it to himself. You know, he'd make a perfect X-ray driver. With his disregard for teammates.
Do you know what? It's really weird. Aiden's signal just got really bad. Like, really bad. I've got a funny feeling I might lose him off the call the next time I say something like that.
Brilliant.
Well, I think we might have to lose everyone else on the call.
I do. Time is ticking on.
Yeah. So, guys, thanks very much.
Very well. I got one question for Guppy I need to ask.
Yes, do that.
See if he can get this. Do you know who Jay Halsley is?
Jay Halsley.
Don't you put it into a don't put it into a computer.
No. I'm here. I would clap my hands.
Right, you have now just failed as an associated fanboy. Massively.
Okay.
So I want you to go and do some studying. So when you see me next at a regional, you can tell me who it is.
We'll get him on the show.
Hang on.
Wait.
Euros, and no one can answer either.
Hang on a minute.
Is he having
Google's
a poo?
not working.
No, wait a minute.
He's doing he's googling. He's googling.
I am not googling anything at all. If I was, I would have the answer by now. I can tell you that.
Yeah, you would do.
See, I thought he was an associate fanboy through and through, and he just let himself down.
No, I don't think he has, because he is an associated fanboy, but up until about 5 years ago, he never knew this existed or what the hell was going on. I'm being completely honest. I don't know who the hell Craig Drescher was.
Oh.
No, because if you think of the time when Craig Drescher was the best toy car driver in the world, that's when I was not at all interested in racing toy cars.
Do you want me to put you out your pain, Matt?
Go on.
He was the first ever world champion for Team Associated in 1984 with an RC10.
You absolute bullbag. I bet you I've read that as well.
He also was in a film with Clint Eastwood. There you go. Just to be really sad. See, I'm a proper nerd.
Well done.
That's a massive nerd thing. All right, boys. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah,
I'll let you go.
It's been good, Dad.
We'll get
You're
you.
very welcome.
We'll get you back on.
Good luck at the weekend, Matthew.
Cheers, buddy.
He'll need you. Cheers, mate.
Cool. Yeah, cheers, guys. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Take it easy.
Gracias.
There we go.
Well done. That's quite eventful.
It was certainly
dropping in and out of calls.
Well, it happens sometimes, mate. You can't always have a perfect connection with everybody on the on the Skype lines. By by the way it seems to be going for us over the last few weeks. But that was really, really good to catch up with those two again, and of course Tony before that as well.
Yeah. Both were really good. So we were both together this weekend at Southport.
What an event
we went
it was.
racing.
What an event it was, mate. I was really, really impressed, actually. I think from when I got there on the Friday, first thing in the morning, opened the gate up for everybody, and
you were first there.
I loved it. I was ready to go. I had all my gear. I was ready to get booked in if I could get in, and all of that sort of stuff. But it was great to see the place again, and a nice sort of break for me after a massive heavy season of sort of racing as far as my level goes. Would have been nice to have gotten the 2-wheel drive, but there were reserves and stuff. It was a lucky dip, I guess. But everything, I think, from the minute I got there all the way through to the way we got everything set up, when Paul Worsley and the BRCA lot arrived, and we helped them get it set up. It was absolutely pouring down with rain.
Yeah, it was.
Everybody just got on with it, and I think Evo, Chris Everson and Tony Parr were there and doing their bit, as well as many other people that I could mention. There were plenty of people around helping out and doing the odd bits here and there. It was good, really good to see everyone pulling together and just making it the weekend that it was. It was great. The track, I thought, looked fantastic.
Thank you.
It had been worked on. You could tell a lot of work had gone into it, a lot of time had gone into it. Everything looked pristine. It was a real shame that rain came down, because it just kind of splashed a lot of the black stuff from the track. You get a lot of rubber in it. It just kind of splashed it all over the white bits. So, as I went round with the blower, I was trying to clean off the bits of hose or track marker and the painted, freshly painted white islands. Yeah. And you know what? Every time a car went over them and did a big sort of wheel spin over it and left any marks on it, Tommy was on that car, giving it the daggers all the way round its next lap. It was, you could see he was quite protective of it, but held up great over the weekend. I thought it did. The track held up really, really well, as you'd expect it to. Like I said, to Martin and Joey there, a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of effort has gone into that track over the last couple of years, and it really, really does show. But yeah, mate, what a great weekend! We were really lucky with the weather. Got to watch some fantastic, really, really fast racing and qualifying, and met people that I feel lucky to have had even just the smallest amount of time to chat to.
Yeah, we Neil came over.
He did.
Spent a lot of time. Great to catch up. Great to get his views of what's going on, and I want to know why he wasn't staying at home. Because he doesn't live that far away. Those were my questions, and I think then a lot of people were asking him about. There's a few people there. Tommy was there, and Paul Smith was there, and Seddon was there.
Well, I think he came over and he sort of introduced himself to me. He walked over and he was like, "Oh my God, yeah, he's coming over. Shh, everyone pretend we haven't noticed him." And he came over and he said hello, shook everyone's hand, and I think I had good sort of 10-15 minutes of being able to talk and have a good chat with Neil. but out of the corner of my eye, I could just see Tommy, just as a, you know when someone gets really, really excited.
Yeah, like Tommy does.
Like Tommy does. He was virtually bouncing in his chair, and I thought, do you know what? If I don't introduce Tommy to Neil whilst he is sat next to me here, he's never going to forgive me. And that was it. As soon as I did that, he was in. He was off. What are you doing with this? What's your setup for that? What's that? What tyres are you running? How are you running those? Are you running different foams? What pistons are you running, and what oil is that? And what motor? Do you run? What's your pinion and spur? What's your gear ratios? Look, Tommy, come on, man, come on. He's got better. He doesn't want to talk to you about that. It makes no difference to you. Just enjoy his company for a minute, and then let him get on with the racing.
Yeah, get back on with his qualifying.
I liked the bit where I got to stand and record the races at the bottom of the rostrum, so that when Lee and Neil came and lined up, I could stand there and just whisper words of advice to Lee just before he went up on the rostrum.
Yeah,
I thought that was great. Hopefully, didn't put him off too much. Just pointing out any bits of track that might catch him out, and just to be a bit, be a bit wary on those. That's poking out there. Just making sure that focus isn't purely on the race. That's what we do.
That's what we did. Yeah, I thought I enjoyed the weekend. It was great. It was great to bump into all our people.
Oh yeah.
We don't see in Opel events.
Yeah.
Just tend to go to nationals. Get guys. There was Adam Dre on the Sunday. That's Mr. X-Ray on a TLR car stand. He was there. He took a few pictures. So some really good pictures of four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some of the other guys I was.
We actually got to meet Idle Murphy. We won't release his real name. So you can go on if you want to find out who that is, and you're not a member of the page. You can go on and have a look. There's a picture of him on there. But I think we need to say hi to Mrs. Idle Murphy as well. I did a wave there. Michelle. Clearly, you can't see me waving, but there you go. Yeah. So obviously, she was lovely as well. We got to meet the pair of those.
Yes.
Tim, and the dog.
And the younger Murphy, the child Murphy.
The child Murphy.
Or child Idle, not sure.
Child Idle Murphy. There we go.
Yeah, something. But yeah, so he was really good. He takes really great videos.
He does.
Of all the finals.
And they're up. They're up already. 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive all the way through, every single one. Yeah,
I think Till Slay was saying on the Facebook group, he always thought he dubbed his voice on afterwards. But then Phil was stood next to him on the rostrum, and he would just go, ear fine and leg one. I apologise for my Biker Grove style impression there.
Well done, mate. Well done.
Thank you. I thought I'd got on so well with the Northeast as a region. I thought if I do an offensive impression, that'll get me back.
Well done. It was very, very good to meet him and see in first hand what he does to put those videos together, the different bits and bobs that he does, and things like that. And he was a nice guy as well. Let me charge up my phone off of his charging thing as well.
Okay.
But we also met Duncan Pole and Daniel.
Yes.
Obviously loving their nationals at the moment. Yeah, so it's good to catch up with those two and actually meet them face to face.
Yeah,
a lot of messages off of Duncan.
Yeah, we also bumped into, though we'd met him at Bury Opel, Mark Anthony Jones.
Yes, yep.
And now I've just remembered that we can run a competition for people who like and share the post. If you like and share the post with the podcast on, you could win Mark Anthony Jones' top F5 two-wheel drive trophy, which he's very kindly donated to the podcast.
Look at that. A memento from the Southport National.
a memento because he's left it, so he clearly doesn't want it. So I'm taking that as he's happy. So if you like and share the post, we'll draw one of those out.
Who
So
else did I see?
good.
Oh, Chris
I
Mills
want to make
came
sure
up.
we mention who else. Who was that?
Chris Mills.
Chris Mills.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was chatting. He goes, I know you guys were, protective about your track and your surface, but when he turned up on Sunday morning, it was being blown and hoovered.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was hoovering our track. Didn't really need much of a hoover. And Tommy got all the blowing in before the man from the caravan park came over and said, "Can you stop making noise?
Yeah.
Can you keep it quiet till 10 o'clock in the morning?" I'm like, no. I'll tell you who else we need to say we all met and spent time with. Paul Worsley, the man who runs all the meetings. Graham, the new timekeeper.
Yeah.
He's been doing them all season.
Didn't really get to speak to Graham much myself, to be honest, but yeah, it was nice to have him running it and keeping things ticking over in the way that he did. That was really, really, really good.
Yeah. And Joey's dad, John Cockhill, who was the ref. He's the head ref, and who spent most of his time stood on the rostrum.
Who else was commentating other than Tony? I think Muzz did a bit, didn't he?
Muzz did a few. Simon Moss did a few. And Andrew Jones.
Who is Muzz, Aidan?
Muzz is a great friend of mine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's his real name there?
Absolutely no idea. His name is Muzz. His surname is Schumacher. That's what it says on Facebook. Clearly, I do know his name is something like Mark Musgrove or something.
Okay, well done.
Hang on, that's not my fault. I sent him a friend request ages ago, and he never accepted.
Oh my god. Yeah, but he does do a lot of on-road, or he has been known to do a lot of on-road with the BTCC lot.
Yeah, but I think he obviously runs workshops. So he was there on Saturday. Andrew Jones was great, doing a lot of commentary. Knows a lot of the drivers. Tony Evdoka from today.
Mm-hmm.
But, the BRCA were really good. Their kit is super swish.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my word.
That is how you turn up to a national.
Oh, my God.
Let that be a lesson to anybody running a BRCA national. That's how you do it.
Well, any sort of event. I think at one point one of the commentators went, I think the batteries are dead. And he went, no, it's not. We can tell you the voltage of the batteries in the microphone from the clubhouse. It was, the scoreboard is amazing. We've got to get one of them. I think one of Derek suggested we have like a raffle at the Southport indoors, sell some raffle tickets. And then if we make the near $2,000, it would cost to get a scoreboard. We go and buy one.
Yeah, I think that's a great
idea. If anyone's listening wants to give me some
great for
raffle
indoors
prizes
and outdoors, that though.
Well, yeah, I thought we'd get the BRCA one folds up and comes apart, so it fits in his boot. And I thought, actually, we'll get one of them because we'd take it to regionals.
Yep.
If we were going to Bury or South Lakes or Ulverston or Barrow or whatever Kendall's moved to.
I think what they do is they really help with the visual countdown between rounds for people knowing, I can see the clock, I can see I've got 30 seconds, I've still got enough time to do this or whatever. I think that really helps you change over as well between rounds.
Yeah, so I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to try and have a raffle, sell tickets through the indoor season, have a bit of a draw and use that money for a scoreboard. So if you're a member of Southport and think that's a great idea, let us know.
I think that's a great idea.
And if you've got any raffle prizes to send us to Southport, basically send them to Eric, because I couldn't be trusted, because if they're any good, I'd just open them.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, one other thing is it's nice to see that your shim advice is going down well in the Facebook group with people doing it themselves. I think Mark Headling, not sure. Yeah, one of them. But Mark, we'll just call him Mark. He put a post up saying that he had done something with some shims on the back thanks to Aiden. Aiden's now infamous shim technique is clearly going to be something that people are going to cling on to now. So.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm looking at shim suppliers. And I should clearly sell Aiden's shims.
You should.
Mark is a great guy because Mark not only looks after the Yoke Facebook group, I think he actually looks after the KO Show Facebook group as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he's into some type of motorcycle.
Okay.
Perhaps we should get Mark on to talk about motorcycles.
Well,
in fact, that yoke he's adjusting the rear inner link on is my old yoke.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's still in one piece.
Well,
it
is now.
Catch on fire on the way to him.
Oh no! Good days.
He didn't get that buggy and go, why did you put the gearbox in upside down and back to front?
Well, actually, that was a yoke I had, and to save space, I took it all apart. So when someone said they were looking for a cheap yoke, I went, I've got one. So I had to spread all the bits out on a table because no two bits were together. And then I just sent them
Frankenstein.
What, mate?
It's a bit of a Frankenstein buggy then.
Yeah. He rebuilt it. But to be honest, I'm one of those people. Though, please, if I'm selling stuff, please buy it. I'm selling it to buy more stuff. But it's not going to be the greatest looked after. You know what I mean? You are going to have to make sure. Well, it'll be looked after well, but things might be on backwards.
Oh yeah. And do you know one thing of yours I probably wouldn't suggest people buy is your electrics.
No, well, no. Actually, now you can buy my electrics because I'm getting other people to solder them other than Tommy. Tommy's a bit upset by this. But we're nice enough to Tommy throughout the podcast. Oh, yeah. So I'm getting, I think, Tom Pat. In fact, I forgot. I took a picture of my car that I need slightly rewiring, and I forgot to send it to Tom Pat, so I'll do that now. So Tom Pat, when you listen to this, can you have a look at me wiring? It does need redoing.
Okay. Hopefully you'll get the message.
Yeah.
Hopefully he will get the message. Well, look, I'm sure there are lots of other people. I know I had a chat with Steve Lawson at the weekend. There were loads and loads of other people. We've got to mention Bobby and Jeff again. We haven't talked about them for a little while, and they really did spur us on at the start. Bobby and Jeff from The Loop is live. I'm planning, or hopefully planning, on being able to get on to their show at some point next week. I've not heard back from him yet, but I've given him the dates that I'll be about. So hopefully we'll still be able to get that organised and go on there with them. But as always, guys, and it goes without saying from us, but thanks for all the support you gave us right at the very start of this. It's been great, and you really did give us a boost at the start, and we really, really appreciate every bit of it. So thanks very much to you two. And unless you've got anything else you want to ramble on about for a minute,
no, I'm fine, mate. It's for anyone who's thinking, it's quarter to bloody midnight here now. So it's probably a good time to finish. Do you know what I mean? I know you're not in work tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's right. You are, aren't you? Sorry, mate.
No. It's fine. Anyone who does listen, I have got an appointment tomorrow morning, but it's only at 10.
Oh, that's not too bad. Then what are you whinging at?
It's only around the corner, but yeah, we'll finish it off. You have a great weekend. Enjoy the Invernational. We'll catch up with you with some Invernational chat.
Oh yeah, I'll do some stuff over the weekend. I'll take pictures and I'll try. If I've got any data left after the National at the weekend, then I'll post some live videos up as well. I know a lot of people watched some of those, so thanks very much to everybody that did watch all of those videos. They're unbelievable. 3,000 and something views on one of them since Saturday. I know we had a few of the local guys from down here. Paul Rose was tuning in. I think Dave Belston tuned in as well. And Dan Hurrell, I think he watched nearly all of the live videos from Southport. So all of you guys and everybody that watches the videos and the posts and likes and shares it, we really, really appreciate it. And if everybody could give this a like and a share and get it out there, that'd be great too. So thanks to our guests for tonight, Tony Evdoka, Martin Owen, and Joey C-Cup, Joe Cockhill, and we will catch up with everybody next week.
Okay. Cheers, mate. Thanks for your time.
No worries, buddy. You take care. Have a safe trip home.
Bye now.